Alright guys, so today's assignment in Normandy Beaches measures 21 to 34 and then 57 to the end. So we're going to go over some things in 21 to 34 that you need to look for while you're practicing. The first one is the people that have the melody. So flutes, oboe, first and second clarinet, alto saxophone, and trumpets have the melody here at 21. There's two other counter melodies that are going on as well. So let's talk about the melody first. We're looking at ta, tia, ta, tia, ta, tia, tia, ta, ta, ta. Those articulations are really important. It should sound like this. This is the first four measures, 21 through 24. And we'll talk about tempo a little bit later. But for right now, that's that main melody. So then there is this really cool counter melody going on. The thing that's going to be tricky about the counter melody is it's a dotted half note and then a quarter note on beat 4 that's tied to the next measure. So you're really almost playing two dotted half notes. 1, 4, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and 1 is where it goes to the next measure. So you've got to count, you've got to have that in your head. 1, 4, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and it should sound like this. It's that bass line part. And then the last part that we have going on in this section is the tenor saxophone horn part. So this is the tenor sax line here. There's the French horn. Your parts are the same. You got to make sure that those whole notes go all the way to the bar line. Your part is kind of like the middle of the parts going on, and it's giving us that middle of the chord. It should sound like this. To the next page, okay? So you've got to make sure that you're pushing through that. You change notes while the bass part, the tuba, trombone, baritone, bass, clarinet, bass, sax part is holding a tie, which is going to create a little bit of tension, and then we're going to get that release, okay? So if we're looking at the percussion part down here for measures 21 through 24, you guys should be able to play all of these rhythms even on a practice pad. So the snare part is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a. Be careful of where the 16th notes. Remember, it's 1E and 2E and. If it's on the 16th at the beginning, 1E and. If it's at the end, it's going to be 1 and a, 1 and a, or 1E and. So Mountain Dew or grape soda. Mountain Dew is the 2/16 at the beginning. Grape soda is when the 16ths are at the end. Watch these accents in this percussion 2 part. We want to make sure that we're getting those 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and we get that accent by raising our stick height. So if it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and that rebound is going to be higher before we go to get that accent, okay? All right, so now we're going to go on to the next page. This is the next 4 measures, 25, 26, 27, and 28, I believe, 29. Yep, 25 to 29. You notice if you look at this, measure 29, you can look down what I see. Everybody has the exact same rhythm at a double forte. 1, 2, 3, and you've got a staccato accent. So you're going to play that really nice and short with a lot of space. Nice and short, big and heavy, full sound. The measure before that, guys, we've got this big crescendo. You either have a whole note and 3/4 with an 8. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Or you've got a half note. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. So that very sax, bass, clarinet, low brass part right here, you guys have that 3 and 4 and which is really important. And then the melody, people, you're just kind of doing a little bit of a repeat from the part before. So let me play a couple of these parts for you. This is 25 through 28, 29, I can't count. So the melody, the flutes, oboes, clarinets, altos, and trumpets, this is starting at 25. And really we shouldn't breathe before that crescendo, but I missed that, that was on me. So then the bass line, bass, clarinet, trombone, baritone, tuba. Your part should sound like this. Alright. And then the last part is the tenor sax French horn part. So our Bradley and Carter, this is your part, guys, and it should sound like this. Alright, so percussion, your rhythm is very similar to the part before. Accents in that percussion 2 part. You've got to be really careful as we're getting into this crescendo right here that we start super soft. So starting at 25, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Notice my stick height gets higher as we're crescendoing up to get that volume there, okay? Maybe it'll stay. All right, guys, going on to the last couple of measures of this section. So these measures are tricky. If you look at them, the big thing that makes them tricky is we all have rests at the same time. So if somebody plays in a rest, it's going to be super obvious. You've just got to count, guys. And these accents, so heavy on the front and then they kind of taper off. Think that chime sound, ba, 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 when we play them, okay? So you've got to count and practice this whole section with a metronome. Percussion, in those rests, guess what you're doing? You are playing. You are pushing that tempo for us. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We've got some different rhythms right here with the toms. You just got to make sure that you count and practice those, guys. All right, so that is some measures 21 through 34. Now we're going to go to, make this a little bit easier, 57 to the end. So the reason why I pulled this section is because you're going to notice that it is almost identical to the section we just played. It's a repeat. A little bit softer, because we're going to have to crescendo to the end. Rhythms are literally almost exactly the same as the section we just did. Okay? So when we get to 65, this is where it changes. We've got unison parts here, guys. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. You either have a whole note or you have 4 quarter notes. And then everybody has that long, short, short, long, short, short. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, and 2. And it's unison right here at the end. You can look at it, if you're looking at it with the whole score the way that I look at it, you can see that everybody has the same thing. Some people might have different notes, but the rhythms are the same. So starting at 66, because this is the only stuff that's actually truly new, this is what it should sound like. Sorry, that was too long, too little. Measure 70 should be nice and short, but a good solid sound on the end. Ti-ta, ready? And let it ring right there on the end of that, okay? All right, guys, get to work. these two sections you should be able to play today.